everyone! It's me again, Mariel, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, ngayon nga is may panibago na naman tayong math tutorial, and this is for grade 10 students. And as you can see, ayan, hindi pa siya ready, kasi ready ko pa siya. And kung bago ka pa lang dito sa aking YouTube channel, please huwag mo muna kalimutang mag-subscribe, i-like tong video, and i-hit mo din yung notification bell down below para naman palagi kang updated sa mga bago kong ina-upload, mga bago kong math tutorials dito sa YouTube. Ayan. So, ito na nga. Simulan na natin right after the intro. Hi everyone! So, this video nga is all about definition of sequence, and this is for grade 10, first quarter, lesson 1. Okay? So, ngayon nga is I'm gonna discuss you on how are we going to derive a sequence or what is the meaning of a sequence. So, for now, syempre, dapat alam muna natin kung ano pa ang ibig sabihin ng sequence. So, when we say sequence, it is a set of numbers written in succession. What do you mean by written in succession? Meaning to say, ito yung mga set of numbers or madaming numbers na merong tinatawag na rules. Okay? Or, kumbaga ay from the first term is nahanap mo yung second term, third term, fourth term, and so on with the rules given or rules na mayroon yung isang set. Okay? For example, we have here number 1. We have here a set. This is a set, okay? And each set has its terms. And meron nga tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms in here. Okay? So, ang tawag sa kanila ay mga terms. Okay? And this one is the first term, the second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term. Okay? So, yun yung tawag sa kanila. When we say a sequence, it has a rule. So, what do you think is the rule in this? So, saan ba natin nakuha yung 4? As well as 9, as well as 16, as well as 25? Paano natin siya nakuha? Paano natin nalaman na ang sunod sa 1 is 4? Because nga, there is a specific rule. And that specific rule is squaring a number from 1 to 5. Why? Because 1 square is equal to 1. 2 square is equal to 4. 3 square is equal to 9. 4 square is equal to 16 as well as 5 square is equal to 25. And that is the rule in this set. Okay? Yan yung rule ng set na yan. Nakukuha natin yung second term, third term, and fourth term by means of squaring the number or the number of terms. Okay? Ganun lang siya kasimple. Basta meron kayong makitang rule sa isang set, it is what we call a sequence. Okay, pero kapag wala naman kayong nakikitang rule, wala kayong maisip na rule kung bakit nagkaganon yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng isang set, mean to say it is not a sequence. Okay? Now, let's say for example number 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is also a sequence. How is it become a sequence? Because for every term, we are going to add 1 to find the next term. Like for example, this one. We add 1 plus 1 to find 2. Kasi 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. And 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. Diba? So, yun yung pinaka-rule niya. Adding 1 to each term to know what is the next term. Okay? That is the rule. No? So, meron pa nga adding 2 para malaman natin yung next term, multiplying 2, squaring, cube, ganyan. So, marami tayong mga sequence na sinasabi, okay? Basta it is a succession or written in succession. Alright? So, now, meron tayong dalawang tinatawag na sequence. We have the finite and infinite sequence. So, when we say finite sequence, ito yung mga sequence na mayroong first and last term. Meaning to say, nagtatapos. Okay? Like for example, itong example natin number 1. Yan. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. And wala na siyang nakalagay na ganitong itsura. Ayan, tingnan niyo yan. Yung parang and so on, yung padami pa siya. So, kapag sinabi nating finite, ibig sabihin, nagtatapos yung mga terms or meron siyang hangganan. Hanggang dun lang siya. Okay? Like ito, hanggang 25 lang siya nakasulat. Therefore, this is a finite sequence. Okay? While when we say infinite sequence, ito naman yung mga sequence na mayroong first but there is no last term. Meron siyang first term pero wala siyang last term. Why? Kasi When we say infinite, it is endless or walang hanggan, forever. Okay? Ibig sabihin, kapag nagsulat ka dyan, madami yan, sobrang haba niyan. But then again, meron kasi tayong shortcut kung paano natin maipapakita ang isang infinite sequence. And ito nga ay ang paglalagay ng ganito. Ayan siya. Kuwit, and then tatlong tuldok sa dulo ng set. Okay? So, example number 2 is an example of infinite sequence. Okay, si number 1, it is a finite sequence. Number 2 is an infinite sequence. Ganun lang kasimple ang finite and infinite sequence. Okay? So, ngayon, meron naman tayong tinatawag na subscripts. So, when we say subscripts, it is used to designate the ordinal of a term. When we say ordinal, ito yung pagkakasunod-sunod. So, ano ba yung sinasabi nating subscripts? So, ito siya. Ito yung mga number na nasa baba. Like yan. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So, sila yung tinatawag nating subscripts and nilalagay yan palagi dyan sa baba. For example, ang basa dito is A sub 1, A sub 2, A sub 3, and so on hanggang sa A sub n. Okay? Kapag naman A sub n na siya, there is no specific number, no? So, ito silang mga A sub 1, A sub 2, A sub 3 to A sub n. They are used to designate the sequence of n terms. So, kapag naman subscript n, itong si n lang yung subscript natin, automatic, sinasabi niya na mag-start ka sa 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, hanggang makatapos ka ng terms na hinahanap mo. Unless otherwise stated. Bakit? Kapag kasi, for example, meron na siyang A sub 1, meron na siyang nakalagay na A sub 1. This tells the first term. For example, meron naman tong A sub 3. Ito naman yung tinatawag nating third term. Okay? While A sub 20. Therefore, this is the 20th term. Okay? Pero kapag A sub n pa lang siya, automatic magsisimula ka from 1, 2, 3 hanggang sa mga terms na hinahanap natin. Okay? Ganun lang kasimple ang ibig sabihin ng subscripts. So, yan yung tawag sa kanila, yung mga number na nasa baba. Okay? And, those numbers are the ordinals, ordinal term, pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga terms. Okay? This is an nth term, and nth term is designated by an algebraic expression. Okay, so now let's discuss the listing of terms in a sequence. And meron na nga tayong given. So what are we going to do in here is to find the first 5 terms. Hanapin daw natin yung first 5 terms. And sabi ko nga kanina, kapag meron tayong A sub n, ayan, meaning to say, mag-i-start tayo from 1 kasi we're going to find the first 5 terms, okay? So, what are we going to do, diba? Meron tayong 5 nga hanapin. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tama? Therefore, papalitan lang natin itong n, okay? Ng unang term. The first term is A sub 1. Tama? Talagyan niyo ng A sub 1. So, dahil ito ay A sub 1, therefore, it is the first term, okay? And then we have this equation, and then di ba itong pinalitan natin na was the n, ayan. Therefore, what are we going to do to the expression itself or dito sa 2n squared is to substitute the value of n. So, papalitan natin lahat ng 1, lahat ng n. No. So, therefore, we have here 2, copy lang yung 2, and then n, of course, 1 kasi we are looking for the first term. So, we have 1 raised to 2. And then right after that, just simplify. Okay? So, we have 2, 1 squared is equal to 1. Okay? Therefore, that is 2 times 1, and then our A sub 1 is 2. Alright? Now, let's look for the second term. Kapag naman second term, of course, papalitan mo naman yung n ng 2. So, we have A sub 2 is equal to 2 times ang n natin, dahil tayo ay nagpalit na ng 2, of course, 2 naman siya doon. 2 raised to 2. Okay? And then we have 2, and 2 raised to 2 is, of course, 4. Diba? And then 4 times 2 is equal to 8. Therefore, our A sub 2 is 8. Okay? Now, let's move on to A sub 3. A sub 3 is equal to 2 times, dahil nasa 3 na tayo, we're gonna substitute 3 to the n. So, we have 3 raised to 2. And then, 2 times 3 raised to 2 is, of course, 9. So, So, 9 times 2 is equal to 18. And then, that is our a sub 3. Diba? Now, let's move on to a sub 4. So, a sub 4, ganun lang kasimple ha. 2 times 4 raised to 2 equal 2 times 4 is 16. And 16 times 2 is equal to 32. Therefore, our a sub 4 is 32. Okay? And then for our last term, kasi ang hinahanap lang naman natin is the first 5 terms, we have a sub 5. And then a sub 5 is equal to 2 times 5 raised to 2. Tama? Therefore, we have 2. 5 times 5 is equal to 25. 25 times 2 is equal to 50. Therefore, our a sub 5 is 50. Okay? So, kapag nilista naman natin yung mga terms na nahanap natin, therefore, we have the sequence 2, ayan, 8, 18, 32, and 50. Okay? So, yan na yung first 5 terms nitong ating sequence na a sub n is equal to 2n raised to 2. Okay, we have 2, 8, 18, 32, and 50. As simple as that. Moving on to our example number 2, we have here a sub n is equal to 3n plus 5. Okay, so now what are we going to do is to look for the 3 terms of the sequence a sub n is equal to 3n plus 5. Hahanapin natin yung first 3 terms. So pag sinabi natin first 3 terms, unang tatlo. Tama? Therefore, we're looking for a sub 1, a sub 2, and a sub 3. Tama? Okay, so what are we going to do is, kagaya lang din nung kanina, we're just gonna substitute the value of n from a sub 1, 2, and 3. Okay? And then we have first a sub 1, then n is equal to 1. Okay? A sub 1 is equal to 3. There is n over here. Therefore, we're gonna change this to 1, of course. Then we have 1. And remember, kapag magkadikit, it is always a multiplication. Alright? And then plus 5. Ayan. Therefore, we have 3 times 1 is 3, plus 5 is equal to 8. Okay? Therefore, our first term, or a sub 1, is 8. Okay? Now, let's look for a sub 2, where n is equal to 2. Okay? And then we have a sub 2 is equal to 3. N is equal to 2. Therefore, we're gonna change n to 2. Okay? So, we have 3 times 2 plus 5. So, sundan nyo lang palagi yung pinaka-equation or pinaka-formula. Alright? Then, we have 3 times 2, that is 6, plus 5, that is 11. Therefore, our a sub 2 is 11. Then, let's move on to a sub 3. We're gonna find the a sub 3 naman. Okay, where n is equal to 3. And then we have 3 times n is equal to 3. So, 3 plus 5. 3 times 3 is equal to 9 plus 5 is equal to 14. Diba? Ganun lang siya kasimple. And then, this is our a sub 3. And then, we're gonna put these terms in a sequence. We have 8. Okay, and then 11 for our second term. And our last third term is 14. Okay, so ito na yung pinaka-sequence natin. Okay, so for example, may hahanapin pa natin yung iba pang sequence. This is an example of an infinite sequence kasi nilagyan ko siya ng ganito na sign. Okay, so as you can see, mapapansin na natin 8 to 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, tapos from 11, 12, 13, 14, naging 14. And mapapansin nyo na nag-add lang siya ng 3 to each term para mahanap natin yung next term. Okay, so let's look for the next term after 14. So add ka lang ng 3 to get the fourth term. So 14 plus 3 is equal to 15, 16, 17. So we have our fourth term as 17 and then our fifth term as 20. Diba? Kapag alam niyo yung pinaka-pattern ng isang sequence, madali nyo lang siyang malalaman yung pag sunod-sunod sa kanila kahit hindi na kayo gumamit ng solving. Okay, ganun lang siya kasimple. Okay, so for our example number 3, we have here a sub n is equal to 2. times n plus 3. And what are we going to find is a sub 20. Okay? So, yun yung hahanapan natin, yung pang 20th term. Okay? So, syempre, naturo ko na sa inyo kanina kung paano yung gagawin. You're just going to substitute 20 as n. Diba? So, in this sequence, ayan, we have a sub 20 is equal to 2 times our n is here. Therefore, we're gonna change this to 20 as well. No? So, we have 20 plus 3. Okay? So, be careful with the equation, okay, kung paano nyo siya dapat tama yung pagkakasulat nyo sa kanya. So, we have equals to 20 plus 3 is 23. Ayan. Therefore, a sub 20 is 2 times 23, we have 46. Okay? Therefore, our a sub 20 is 46. Para mahanap niyo yung pinaka-sequence nito, you're just going to find a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3. So, ito nga kasi dahil 20th term lang naman yung hinahanap dito sa sequence na ito. So, that is our a sub 20, 46. And now, let's have our example number 4. We have here a sub n is equal to n raised to 2 minus 9. And what are we going to do in here is to find the first 3 terms. So, we're gonna find a sub 1, a sub 2, and a sub 3 in this sequence. Okay? So, we have, of course, to find a sub 1 first. Therefore, n is equal to 1. Alright? And then, substitute the value of n to the equation. A sub 1 is equal to 1 squared minus 9. Okay? And then, 1 times 1, since it is exponent of 2, ito palagi kong sinasabi sa inyo when we are dealing with the exponent, madami pa din yung nalilito dito, no? So, kapag sinabi po nating exponent, ito yung magsasabi kung ilang beses natin i-multiply si base sa kanyang sarili. Ano yung base? For example, dito sa 1 raised to 2, ang base natin is si 1. Okay? So, dahil 2 yung exponent, therefore, i-multiply natin si 1 sa kanyang sarili ng 2 beses. Kasi 2 yung exponent. Pero kung 3, itong exponent na to, i-multiply natin si 1 sa kanyang sarili ng 3 beses. Okay? Ganun lang kasimple ang exponent. And marami pa din yung nalilito sa inyo about it. Kaya nga, palagi ko siyang pinapaalala sa mga videos ko na napapadaanan ko ng mga exponent. Okay? So, we have 1 raised to 2. 1 times 1 is equal to 1. And then, minus 9. 1 minus 9 is, of course, negative 8. Therefore, our a sub 1 is negative 8. So, lagay na lang natin siya dito. Negative 8. Ayan. And then, let's look for a sub 2. We have n is equal to 2. Tama? And then, we have a sub 2 is equal to n, or rather 2. Should be 2 raised to 2 minus 9. Okay? And then, we have 2 raised to 2. O, ilang beses natin i-multiply si 2 sa kanyang sarili? 2 po. Kaya yan ay 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 9 is equal to negative 5. So, our a sub 2 is negative 5. Okay? And then, we have negative 5. Now, for the last term na hinahanap natin, or the third term, is a sub 3. A sub 3 is equal to, okay, and is equal to 3. Okay? Now, we have 3 squared minus 9. Okay? And then, 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 9 is equal to 0. Therefore, our third term is 0. Ayan. So, we have negative 8, negative 5, and 0 as the terms of the sequence a sub n is equal to n raised to 2 minus 9. As simple as that. Okay, for the last example ng person, medyo pagod na tayo magsalita, but it's okay para sa inyo naman to. Okay, so for our example number 5, or the last example, we have a sub n is equal to 1/2 n plus 10. Okay, so what are we going to do in here is to find the second and the fourth term. And hanapin daw natin si a sub 2 at saka si a sub 4. So what are we going to do is to first find a sub 2. So where n is equal to 2, of course. And then substitute the value of 2 to all the n in this equation. We have a sub 2 is equal to 1/2 times 2, dahil yung n natin ay nandun, ayan, plus 10. And then, we're just going to simplify. So, we have 1/2 times 2. So, kapag ganito naman yung situation, ang gagawin nyo lang dito is to multiply the numerator to this one, or to this whole number. Kapag ganito lang siya. So, we are just going to multiply 2 to 1. 2 times 1 or 1 times 2 is 2. And then, just copy the denominator. So, over 2. And then, plus 10. Okay? And then, we have 2 over 2. And when we say a fraction, it is also a division. So, that is 2 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1 plus 10. And then, we have our a sub 2 as 11. And then, right after that, we're gonna find a sub 4 naman. So, a sub 4 is equal to 1/2 times 4 kasi n is equal to 4, okay? Plus 10. So, we have plus 10. And then, we have, ganun lang din ang process. So, 1 times 4 or 4 times 1 is 4 over 2 plus 10. And then, we have 4 over 2 or 4 divided by 2 is 2 plus 10. Then, we have a sub 4 as 12. Okay? Medyo tumatabi ka na, girl. But it's okay. So, ngayon, ito natin siya. Wait lang. Dito na lang natin isingit. Ayan. So, dahil wala pa dito yung a sub 1, so, lagyan lang natin siya ng blank. A sub 2 is 11. A sub 3 is also a blank. A sub 12, or rather, a sub 4 is 12. Diba? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, what are we going to do is to find the first and the third term. So, paano? Pwede nyo siyang gamitan ng formula pa din or ng equation like substituting the value of n which is 1 or substituting the value of n which is 3. But then again, from this, mahanap na natin siya. So, dito mo simulan kay 11, blank at 12. So, ano ba ang magiging sunod kay 11 para, dahil nga ito yung magkasunod na, 11, 12. So, feeling ko, dagdagan mo lang siya ng 1/2 dahil from the equation itself, meron tayong half-half na nagaganap dito. Diba? So, we have 11 and 1/2. Diba? So, therefore, dito, ano yung magiging sagot natin dito? Yes, of course, we have 10 and a half. Diba? 10 and a half, 11, 11 and a half, 12, 12 and a half, and so on and so forth. Ganun lang siya kasimple. Anyway, kapag ginamitan natin ito ng formula, ganito lang din talaga yung mahanap natin. So, let me see in the comment section below kung gagamitan nyo siya ng ganitong formula and ang makukuha nyo talaga is 10 and a half sa ating a sub 1 and 11 and a half sa ating a sub 3. Bigyan ko kayo ng example. Si 10 and a half tayo. Kasi ito is kayo na lang, ilagay nyo na lang sa ating comment section below. Okay? So, di ba itong 10 and a half is our a sub 1 since 11 is our a sub 2. So, a sub 1, let's try to check. Is equal to 1/2 times 1 plus 10. No. And then 1 times 1/2 is of course 1/2 plus 10. 1/2 plus 10 is equal to 10 and a half. That is our a sub 1. Are they the same? Ito? Yes, they are. And ganun lang siya kasimple.